Now, once you've installed your insulated garage door, the next step might be to install a heating and cooling system to make your garage more comfortable and an additional living space for your home. Meet Tom Rutkowski. He's helped homeowners find the best way to heat and cool their homes, and that includes garages with equipment from furnaces to mini splits. So Tom, are you seeing more and more people wanting to heat and cool their garage?
Absolutely. As people are looking for more space to expand into, the garage is the next best option as compared to putting an addition on their home.
What can help people decide if they should take that leap and heat and cool their garage?
Sure. A lot of it's going to depend on what they want to do with the space. If they're going to be using it for a living space, a man cave, for their cars, tools, motorcycles, etc. And then figuring out, once they know what that use is going to be, how we can design the best system to meet their needs.
Can you tell us about the specific equipment that you've installed in the past?
Sure, we've installed everything from hanging heaters to furnace and airs to mini splits and even geothermal systems.
And what are the basic differences between each of those types of equipment?
Sure, so a hanging heater would be for somebody that would want to keep it cold unless they're in there working. They can come in, fire it up, and it'll heat it up really quick. On the furnace side, there's two types of furnaces. You have your 80% models that do not have a condensate, and it'd be similar to using it for a hanging heater. And then you have high efficient models that you get up near 95, 96, even 98% efficient furnaces. But because they have a condensate, the garage would need to be kept about 40 to 50 degrees at the lowest year round. Otherwise, that condensate has a chance to freeze. And then on the mini splits, that would be for somebody that would want to keep it a fairly common temperature throughout the year. They do have the ability to heat and cool, but it's not going to be a rapid heat or rapid cool. So it's the idea of keeping it at that one temperature.
Right, consistent.
Yeah, and then geothermal is fairly similar. It does have the ability to ramp up quick if it needs it. It's going to be the most efficient, but it does have a little more upfront cost.
I want to go back and talk about ductless mini splits, which you talked about there. Can you explain to us how that works?
Sure, it's very similar to what you'd see with an air conditioner, except there is no ductwork that is attached to it. You have an indoor unit that would hang on the wall, and then an outdoor unit, and then it's all about moving the heat. So in cooling mode, you're going to take the heat from inside the space and reject it outside. In heating mode, they're going to capture the heat from outside and bring it into the indoor space.
Okay, well, considering that exchange, we had a really cold winter this year. Does that affect how that operates?
It does, and depending on what model you put in, it'll affect it differently. Some models are good down to 15 degrees. A lot of models are good down to like that minus 15, minus 20, and there are some that go down as low as minus 40. Obviously, the more it can do, the more expensive it's going to be.
Okay, so it does have some limitations.
It does, and that's something you do want to keep in mind when you're looking at what you want to use that space for, because at some point you won't have that ability to heat that space.
All right, can you talk a little bit about the cost to retrofit an existing garage with a heating and cooling system, and maybe break it down a little bit? So what would be considered a traditional system, and then let's focus on that mini split again.
Sure, so with a hanging heater, you're probably in like the 3,000 to 5,000 range. For a furnace and air, you're going to be looking somewhere in the 5,000 to 10,000 range, depending on how much ductwork we want to put on there. We can go as small as just putting a plenum with a few feet of ductwork, or getting up into an attic space above the garage and running a full ductwork system like you'd see in a house. With the mini split, depending on how many heads you have on your indoor side, you're anywhere from 4,000 to 12,000. And then with the Geo system, you're probably in the 14 to 25 range up front, but there would be tax credits available for that.
Right. So Tom, is it possible for people to take their heating and cooling system from their home and tie it into their garage?
It depends on the system. If you have a geothermal system, we could run lines off of your loop field to a dedicated unit in the garage. With a mini split, same idea, we can run refrigerant lines to a dedicated indoor unit. However, with a ducted system, you don't want to just throw a heat run into your garage. Most local codes won't allow for that because there is a chance that carbon monoxide can make its way back up through that heat run and then get into your home.
Great, thanks. This is good information.
No problem.
If you'd like more information about the specific systems you can use to heat and cool your garage, visit our website at powerhousetv.com.